Today's business owners are always looking for a better way to get the best out of their people and out of their organizations. We've been introduced to a new approach called Holacracy, and it's our privilege today to meet with the founder and partner of HolacracyOne, the company that started this particular philosophy. Let's meet Brian.
I'm Brian Robertson, founder and partner of HolacracyOne in Spring City, Pennsylvania.
So I'm so glad you're here, because it's not every day that we get a chance to really dig very deeply into the nuts and bolts of what is a really revolutionary philosophy that is helping businesses to do better business every day. So tell me about the tenets of Holacracy. Why is it better for a better operating system for businesses?
Yeah, I think there are many answers to that. One, it simply helps them be more dynamic or more agile, more adaptable. If you think of a lot of the businesses we have today, many are plagued by rigid structures that don't adapt or respond to the needs of their market, their world around them. We have people within the businesses that have plenty of good insights, but no way to really get them processed into some kind of change. We have bureaucracies and politics and painful meetings. What organization doesn't suffer from some of those kind of issues? Holacracy fundamentally transforms the way we get work done together, the way we organize, the way we align, and it gets around a lot of the painful, limiting aspects that we see in organizations today, and liberates them to use and harness the best of everybody showing up in the organization in order to express some purpose together in the world.
So in fact, this is fascinating, because you're saying people are liberated. And as we've all sat through and suffered through some of these painful meetings, we've all been on the margins of companies where our voices have not been heard or brought to the table. You're addressing a lot of very deep and timely issues, from diversity and perspectives that may come from the margins to efficiency and operational efficiencies. It's almost a miracle that you're able to make such an impact so quickly. So tell us a case study of how you have been able to help an organization get better.
Yeah, well, and I love examples that already started good, and then we're able to take it to another level. So one of our clients is the David Allen Company. And you might know David's work. He's the author of a book called Getting Things Done, and a whole movement that started around that. And David had built this just incredible company. When we got to know them, it's about 50 employees, really powerful organization. The culture was incredible. He had attracted all these really smart, engaged people to his company. And yet, there were challenges, of course, and many of them a result of having so many smart, engaged people together, right? When you get, in fact, I often see the most dysfunctional, limiting structures of a company surface when you have the most engaged, motivated, smart workers, because they're all trying to achieve change and results together. And yet, how do we do that in a way that's aligned and integrated, so we're not stepping on each other's toes and all that? And David had built this great company, and he was ready to exit it, right? He's ready to take a next step in his journey, get out of the company, and bring in somebody new to lead. But how does he do that? There's lots of challenges. As a typical entrepreneur, he was somewhat fused with the company. As all new life starts in the world, fused with its parent, so too do companies. And he needed to extract, to figure out what was it that he was still holding and doing, and get himself out. And as he brought somebody else in, he didn't want to lose that culture and that engagement. In fact, the opposite, he wanted to liberate it. So he has all these smart, engaged people that are starting to feel the growth of the company. You know, and when you're 12 people or 20 people, it's easier to still make sure everyone really has a voice to contribute. You start hitting that 30, 40, 50 mark that they had hit, and now how do all these engaged people actually achieve change with their insights, their ideas, their passion, right? So for him, Holacracy was a tool that he could bring in to achieve both of those results simultaneously, getting him differentiated and out by identifying what is it he's doing, clarifying that, while giving everyone else a voice to evolve how the whole organization is working. So when he first brought it in, we went from having the traditional management structure to Holacracy as a distributed authority system. So now every team has autonomy to govern and organize how they work on that team. And there are processes for that. So there's a process where anyone on the team can bring an idea or an issue, a frustration, whatever they're sensing, and change how the team works in a really clear, efficient process to identify who expects what from who has what authority. And at the end of the day, that authority gets distributed, so no manager can trump it or can step on somebody's authority. And when you have a distributed authority system like that, it gives more response capacity. Anyone in the organization knows, here's my role to lead. and I have to step up and lead this role, and I have authority in this role, and no one's going to tell me what to do in this role. It's my decision to make, and here's what I can expect from my colleagues.
So interestingly, you're providing clarity, you're providing very healthy corporate boundaries.
Yeah.
And just that alone frees up some people's emotional capacity to be able to contribute more, and you're driving employee engagement even higher.
Absolutely. Which also makes it a lot easier to bring in that new CEO he was looking for.
Right, so that solves your succession problem.
Exactly.
Because suddenly you really are developing your individuals to be part of a healthy system, and they're contributing across the board.
Yeah, absolutely. And the boundaries being clear means that CEO can come into an existing system, not something that David was heroically leading as the hero leader, but rather as something that is a structure, is a system. It's an entity that exists aside from just the founder holding and pulling all the strings, which makes it easier for him to get out, for a new guy to come in, and to do that while everybody is still in their role doing their work.
So it strikes me that this actually parallels a little bit of the healthy family development, right?
Absolutely.
So in fact, you start, as you alluded, you start as an infant where you are fused with your parent, and over the course of your development as a human, you become more and more autonomous, ideally, and that allows for a healthy system that is replicated in the parent, grandparent, and child generation.
Yeah, I think that's exactly.
And that is a natural succession.
It is, and I actually use that metaphor a lot myself too, and it's the act of raising an organization is what we entrepreneurs do, right? And our goal is not to raise it so it's an adult that's living at home, eating off of our dime, fused with us, but so that it's an independent entity that can stand on its own 2 feet and achieve its purpose in the world.
So what's different about businesses? Because, we are as parents rewarded, and we're rewarded for growing independent, autonomous children. And there's a congratulations at the end of that. But sometimes, if you're Steve Jobs, if you're Lee Iacocca, there's this implication that if you were really a great CEO, that you would be indispensable forever.
Yeah.
What's the difference?
I honestly don't think there's that much of a difference. You could say the same thing about parents. How rewarding would it be to feel like my child needs me forever? There's a personal rewarding quality in that, and yet we've learned as a society that is limiting the development of the next generation. It's limiting the true potential of our child. And ironically, we get our own needs met better as parents when we learn to let go, which is not the same as pushing them out, but let go, let them be their own person, and find an adult-to-adult relationship. And I think as a founder of a couple of companies now, I've seen the same thing with my organizations. The more I can let them be their own thing and find their own 2 feet to express their own work in the world, the more I have a chance to actually interrelate with them in a new way, and one that isn't the same. I want to feel not needed, but I want to feel well used. Right? For me, a good day is when I can go home and say, kind of like as a parent, I was well used. I was put to good use today for something that is so far beyond myself that I don't want to own it anymore.
So the truly great CEOs are really able to have enough confidence and security that, in fact, they are looking to be well used and not just needed.
Just like the good parent.
All right. Well, that's good advice, I think, across the board for families, for businesses. And I want to thank Brian for taking the time to share a revolutionary approach to doing good in business.